Hello everyone. So this is the first lesson of the series Vocabulary for Ielts, and there are 20 lessons in total. Hopefully by the end of this series, you will be very well equipped for the IELTS exam. And yeah, let's get started. All right, so the first topic is going to be about relationships, families, and early learning. So the first exercise you will look at, these four topics. The first one is a study problem, your favorite music, buying something expensive, and the last film you saw. So decide for yourself whether you will talk about these topics with your family, your friends, or a teacher. All right, you can pause this video and after like 30 seconds, you can come back to continue the lesson. All right, so now let's move on to the next part. You will listen to four people talking about the four topics above and write the number of the topic 1 to 4 over here. A has been done for you. All right, and then you can take note of the words that helped you and also the person or the people they would talk to. All right, so now let's listen to the audio and let's work on B, C, and D together. All right.
Speaker A.
On Mondays at school, a group of us always talk about whatever movies we saw at the weekend. On Saturdays, I often get together with my classmates and we see all the latest releases together. I can't remember the last time I saw a film with my parents. We just don't have much in common anymore.
Speaker B.
My parents are both teachers, so you'd imagine I'd have no trouble at all academically.
Okay, so let's do B together. All right, so some of you may not be able to be very strong in your listening, so you may not be able to follow the speed of the speaker. So as the audio speaks, I will stop from time to time to clarify the words for you. So listen again. B.
Speaker B.
My parents are both teachers, so you'd imagine I'd have no trouble at all academically.
Okay, so she said that her parents are teachers, so she has no problem academically. So the word here is academically, all right? Academically, all right? So it's related to study, right? Academically is relating to study, all right? Next one.
When I was little, it was great because we had a really great relationship.
So when she was young, she was little, her parents and she had very great relationship with one another.
But nowadays, all we seem to do is argue, and that causes a lot of conflict between us.
So nowadays they argue, right? They argues a lot. They argue, and there are many conflicts among them. All right. Conflict means differences in thinking or in opinions, right? That cause you and the other person to have arguments, all right?
So I don't really feel I can go to them for help.
So she couldn't go to her parents for help.
My friends aren't much help either, as they've all got the same problem.
So she couldn't go to her friends also because they couldn't help her, right?
Thank goodness I get on really well with my tutor at university.
So the person she's talking about here is her tutor in university, right? So what's special about her tutor?
She's very approachable and, if I'm struggling with an assignment, I find her advice really helps me.
Okay, so this person is very approachable. Or here we have the word approachable, right? Approachable means friendly and easy to talk to, right? You are not worried when you come closer to that person, right? You can always find this person for help.
Speaker C.
Okay, so you may guess, person B, speaker B, talk about what topic? Study problem, buying something expensive, favorite music, or the last film she saw. So here we can see that her problem is more of a study problem, right? A study problem. Yeah. Okay. She couldn't talk to her parents, so she go to her tutor, right? Okay. Next part. Speaker C.
My parents are quite old, so I feel as though they're out of touch with the modern world. They don't seem to have any idea of what things cost.
Okay, so he also talks about his parents, and here we have a word, out of touch, out of touch with the modern world, right? Out of touch with the modern world. That means you, because you are so old now, you fall behind the modern world, right? You fall behind from what is new, what is currently going on in the market, right?
I'm hoping to get a car in the next few months, but I'll be taking my older brother along to help.
So he's going to buy a car, and the person he will turn to is actually his brother, right?
We used to fight a lot when we were growing up, but there's a really close bond between us now.
There is a close bond between us now. Như vậy thì ở đây, here we have the word close bond, right? Close bond, a close bond. That means the two person has a very close relationship with each other.
He's already had a few cars, so I'm sure he'll be a great help.
He will be of great help. All right, so the topic here is gonna be 3, right? Buying something expensive. And I would say the person here is his brother, older brother, right? And we move this one to here. All right, and the last one.
Speaker D.
I play the violin and the piano, and my granddad is a great cello player.
Her granddad is a great cello player, right? And
A lot of my friends at school listen to all the popular bands and singers.
a lot of her friends listen to popular, popular bands and singers. Here we can see popular means like the people that are currently famous, right? Famous now at the moment, right? Bands and singers are which are very trendy, right? Very new, very updated to the young people, right?
But my tastes are totally different.
My taste is totally different. So when you say your taste is different, right? That means you just don't like the same thing as your friends do.
I prefer classical music, and they just don't understand it at all.
She likes classical music. We have classical music, right? Classical music, and that's not for her friends.
Luckily, Grandad shares my taste, so we often buy CDs and talk about them together.
So the person she's talking about here is now obviously her granddad, right? And she also mentioned that her granddad shares her taste, right? When somebody share your taste, that means he or she has the same interest likes the same thing as you. Okay, and so the topic here is gonna be favorite music, right? Number 2. Okay, so here we have already completed the first exercise, listening exercise. Now let's move on to the next part. Listen again and decide which of the speakers A to D the sentences apply to. So we can read together and then decide, okay? The relationship between my brother and me is very close. So obviously here it talks about the brother, right? My brother and me. So of all 4 people, only C talks about his brother. Okay, now we move on to number 2. I have a lot more information. Sorry, I have a lot more in common with my friends than with my family. So which one talks about, right, have a lot more in common with? That means she or he has a lot of similarities with friends, right? The things in common means similarities. Okay, similarities. So which person? That could be A, right? Just now, yeah, it could be A, right? Okay, I have established a close connection with an older member of my family. So here we can see an older member of my family, that is granddad. So the answer here is gonna be D, right? And the last one, the relationship between my parents and me has broken down. When relationship, right? When relationships break down, that means it's not the same as before. It has gone really bad, right? And the 2 parties are not happy with one another, okay, with each other. So here we can put it as B. So this is the answer for 1.3. Okay, now let's move on to learn some collocation regarding relationships. So number 1, my sister and I have totally different tastes, right? We have different interests, right? Different interests, different ways of, liking something. In fact, we don't have much in common at all, right? We don't have much in common at all. Number 2, there is a very close between my mother and a newborn baby. So if we use the word, right, from this recording just now, I have already mentioned a close bond, right? A close bond between a mother and a newborn baby. It is important to a good working relationship, your work colleagues. So here we have to maintain a good working relationship with, all right, a relationship go with preposition with, right? And the last one, no, the next one, the relationship can easily, if you don't work at it. So we have one phrase that go with relationship, that is break down, right? Break down. And next part, I really admire the relationship between, right? Between, yeah. And the last one, there can be a lot of and between teenagers and their parents. So one word that has been mentioned in the previous part, that is conflict, right? Conflict. Yep. So this is the answer for part 1.1 to 1.4. Okay. So now you have a few seconds to scan the underline to scan the words over here, and then let's answer the question following together, right? Okay, you can pause the video anytime you feel you need to, so that you can work on the exercise, right? And yeah, so once you finish, you can continue and see and check the answer together. Okay, so let's do it together. Okay, so let's look for the word rewarding. So here we have the word rewarding. I think I will choose a different color. Okay, actually, purple is fine. Okay, then sibling. So here we have sibling. Or relate, right? Accommodating. Relate. Yeah, accommodating. Accommodating here. And adolescence. A sibling here, right? A sibling here. Adolescence here. And then we have interaction. Interaction, yeah. Nurture, and the last one is nurture. Okay, so here are the keywords, right? The keywords for our reading text. So let's find the word that means help someone, something, develop, and grow. So from the context of this reading, I can see that the word that has this meaning is actually nurture. So we can type here nurture, right? When you nurture someone, right, that means you are helping that person to develop and to grow. Agreeing to a demand, right? So here we can see that is the word accommodating. We can try to fit this phrase agreeing to a demand to the context, and we find that it has appropriate meaning. So that's the correct answer. Yeah. So when parents, right, relate to a child, they do a lot of work figuring out what the child needs, and then agreeing to the demand, right, agreeing to those needs. So parents will try every way to meet the needs of the child, right? But that is not the same thing for their friends, right? The friends will fight with the kids. The friends will try to get what they want, but the parents always try to give, what the children need, right? To give them what they need. So that is to accommodating the needs. All right. So we can write our answer here. That is accommodating. Yeah. Okay. So the next word, brother or sister. This is, I think, quite easy for many of you. Obviously, it is a sibling, right? Sibling, and respond to somebody, or in other words, that is relate, right? When parents relate to a child, or when parents respond to a child, so that is to relate. Yeah. The stage between childhood and adulthood. So childhood you already know. Adulthood is when you are an adult. So the stage between that is adolescence. Yeah, so the word here is adolescence. And next one, giving a lot of pleasure. Giving a lot of pleasure. So so if something is rewarding, right? A rewarding friendship, that is the kind of friendship that gives you a lot of pleasure, a lot of happiness, a lot of joy. Yeah, so that is rewarding. Yep, and the next one, communication. So the last word in here is actually interaction. Interaction is communication. Yeah. Okay, so we complete the next part. And the final part relating to the reading text over here, you can pause the video, do section 2.3 first, and then come back and check the answer with me. All right. Okay, ready? So number one, if young children have good friends, they will have good relationship with their brother or sister. So if you put it through give me evidence, right? If you give it false, underline the evidence, right? Don't just guess, don't just make a guess. You must give evidence. Yeah, this is the way that you can improve your understanding for the text, yeah, as well as improve your reading skills. Yeah, don't just make a random guess. You must be sure of your answer. Make sure your answer is from the text. So the first one, all right, so I would put this as true, right? True. And the evidence is from where? Now let's read together, right? Have good friends. So we have the key phrase here, have good friends, then have good relationship with brother or sister, or in other words, siblings, right? Siblings. So where is the evidence for this one? Yeah, so the evidence is here, right? Children who experience rewarding friendship, right, are likely to have a better relationship with that brother or sister. So this is the evidence, right? Talking about friendship, good friendship, and good relationship with brother or sister. So this is the evidence for question number 1. We put number 1 here. So later we can, right after we finish, we can double check, right? Always practice doing this for all your reading, right? Before you take the real exam, do this for me, all right? So next one, parents help their children develop more social emotional skills than friends do. So the keywords here are parents, right? More than friends, yeah. So we will see parents have more or friends have more to develop social and emotional skills. Okay, so we have the evidence is here. When early friendships are successful, young children get a chance to master sophisticated social and emotional skills even more than they do with a parent. So this is the evidence, right? They can master the skills, yeah, and more than they do with a parent. So this is the evidence for number 2. So what does this mean? This means number 2 is false, right? Number 2 is false because friendship can help the children more than parents do. So we put here false. And number 3, friends will give you what you want more often than your parents do. Really? So we will check this. Okay, friends. So the keyword here is friends, right? Give you what you want more often than parents do. We see if friends really give more than parents. So we can see here, right? The next example, parents tend to accommodate the needs of the children, but this is not usually the case when two children are interacting. So here is the evidence, right? This is not the case when two children are interacting. So we put the evidence for number 3 here. So this is obviously 3 is false, not the case, right? Okay, and number 4, teenagers who fight with their brothers or sisters may behave in a way that is socially unaccepted. So teenagers who fight, right, behave in a way that is socially unacceptable. So we look at the text. Okay, so we have it here. Children who as preschoolers were able to coordinate, play with a friend, manage conflicts, and keep an interaction positive in tone were most likely as teenagers to avoid the negative sibling interaction, right? So negative sibling interaction, that means your communication with your brothers and sisters. Negative means not good, yeah, not good. Can sometimes launch children on a path of antisocial behavior. That means launch students on the path of antisocial behavior. That means children tend to do things that are socially unacceptable, right? Not accepted by the society. So this is the same meaning. This has the same meaning as number 4. So number 4 is true. Yeah. And the last one, if parents play with their child more, then they will learn how to be more sociable. So parents play more, right? Then the children learn how to be more sociable. Yeah, so the key word here is more sociable. So we see, is it true? So the last sentence here, from birth, parents can nurture and develop the social competencies. Competencies mean the skills, yeah, by making eye contact with their babies, offering toys and playing with them. So that means when parents make eye contact, offering toys, yeah, giving the children toys and playing with them, then they can nurture, right? They can nurture means they can help to develop, yeah, social competencies or social skills. So that means this is gonna be our, yeah, nurture and develop social skills by making eye contact with them. So this is the 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 evidence for 5. Yeah, 5. And the above one is evidence for 4. And so number 5 is true. Yeah. Okay, so this is how you would do a reading exercise. Yeah, a reading exercise. You read the questions, you underline the keywords, yeah, and try to understand the main idea of the sentence, so that you know what information you need to look for, and you need to check what information from the text. All right, so as you read, you find for the keywords, and then you underline the idea and compare, right? Compare, for example, compare this sentence to the sentence over here. So you know whether they are true. If they have the same meaning, that is, they are true. But if they have different meaning, then they are false. All right. So our lesson will end here. We will continue in the next video, page 10 and page 11. Thank you for your watching, and hope you like the video. It is helpful for you. We will see each other in the next video. Bye bye.